here we are working on some more complicated multiplication problems. In this first one, we've got 439 multiplied by 49. And honestly, I think most people, if they had to solve this, they would get out a calculator. They would pull up a calculator on their cell phone or whatever and just do it that way. Or maybe you could estimate it, and if you didn't need a perfectly exact answer. I'm going to show you how to do this in case you're stuck on a desert island and you have to scratch this out in the sand and you really, really need uh, an exact answer. Maybe you've planted 49 coconut trees and you've heard that you can get an average of 439 coconuts from each one or something, and you really want to plan. So we're going to go ahead and do this. But before we do this, I think we should estimate. So we get a sense of where the answer is going to be, at least the ballpark. And to estimate, I'm going to use some really rough calculations to make it as easy as possible. We're going to round this 49 up to 50, and we're going to round the 439 down to 400, and then multiply that and see what ballpark we're in. So 5 times 400 would be 2000 or 2000 plus an extra trailing zero. So that's 20,000. Now, that's the ballpark. I think it's going to be more than 20,000 because while I rounded this 49 up to 50, which is only one away, the 439 rounding down, that's a lot to go down. So it's probably going to be more than 20,000. But let me show you how to get this exact answer without a calculator. These are skills we've worked on before. We're going to start with our ones column here and multiply it by the ones and then by the tens and then by the hundreds. We're going to be writing down the ones part of the result here and carrying the tens part of the result up to the next number. Then when we go on to the 4, we're going to put a 0 down first and make a second row and then add those two parts of the answer together. So let me show you how that works. First, we have 9 times 9, and that is 81. So the 1 goes down here, the 8 gets carried. Then we do 9 times 3, and that's 27. But then we've got to add that 8. So 27 plus 8 is 35. So the 5 goes down here, and the 3 gets carried. And then we have 9 times 4, that's 36, plus 3, that's 39. So, and there's nothing else to carry it to, so we put the whole 39 down here. All right, so that's the ones. We've multiplied by that 9. The 4 should be a little easier. Before we go on to the 4, because this is tens now, we've got to put a 0 down here in our second row. And remember, we're going to add these two rows together. So to start with, I've got 4 times 9, and that's 36. So we put the 6 down here, and we carry the 3. I'm going to cross that out and put a 3 up here. Now we've got 3 times 4, and that's 12, but we've got to add the 3, and that's 15. So we put the 5 down here, and this time we put the 1 up here. And then we've got 4 times 4, and that's 16, plus 1, and that equals 17. And that whole thing goes down here. Okay, now we're almost done. We just have to add those two rows. So 1 plus 0 is 1, 5 plus 6 is 11, so the 1 gets carried. 9 and 1 is 10 plus 5 is 15, the 1 gets carried. 3 and 7 is 10 plus 1 is 11, the 1 gets carried. And we've got 21,511. So we were in that ballpark. We had predicted somewhere over 20,000, so it looks like we didn't go terribly wrong, and I'm guessing 21,511 is the answer. There's one other thing you can do to check. Estimating like I did up there is a good idea. You can just in your head ask, what's 9 times 9? The ones digit times the ones digit. And that's 81, and it should end in that same number. So you see a 1 here, 81 ends in 1, our answer ends in 1. So that's another clue that you maybe have the right answer. So that's a lot of steps. Let's try one more for practice. So we've got 79 times 74. And again, I want to estimate first. So let's think about that. I think I'm going to round this 80 up, sorry, the 79 up to 80 and the 74 down to 70. And we'll be a little bit off there. We'll be a little bit on the low side, but I think we'll be get a good sense of the ballpark. So let's see. 8 times 70. Well, 8 times 7 is 56 plus a trailing 0 there would be 560, plus a trailing 0 there would be 5,600. So we're going to be somewhere over 5,600 for our answer. All right, let's start working on this. Starting with the ones here, 4 times 9, that's 36. We put the 6 down here and carry the 3 up here. Then we have 4 times 7, that's 28, but plus 3 is going to be 31. So the 1 goes down here. Oh, the whole thing goes down there because we're out of digits. There's only a 2-digit number at the top. All right, so there's our first row. Now we're going to go to the 7 here, which is really 70. So we put a 0 down here to get those 10s out of the way. And then it's 7 times 9, and that is 63. So the 3 goes down here, and I'll cross that out for now, and the 6 goes up here. And then it's 7 times 7, which is 49, plus 6, and that equals 55. So 55 all goes down there. And then we add those 2 rows. So 6 and 0 is 6, 1 and 3 is 4, 3 and 5 is 8, and 5. So we had predicted somewhere more than 5,600. We're definitely in the ballpark with 5846. And 9 times 4 is 36. I've got a 6 down here at the end, so that all checks out. I would bet that this is the right answer. So that is a little bit of work with these larger, more difficult multiplication problems.